Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new, subscribe, drop this video a like and get involved in the comment section down below. Get interactive with our predicted lineup show. I'm Luke. Some of you have been calling me Liam in the comment section, so I just want to clarify my name's Luke. Jason
and I'm Justin.
is not involved on the podcast. It's Justin, and we've got Ryan and Hannah. So our names are on the screen if you can't see. So that's what our names are. So welcome to the show. Before we start, I've been asked to mention this, which obviously I'm happy to mention anything on this podcast. So there is going to be a clap for Amy on the 25th minute planned versus Chelsea this Sunday in memory of avfc mad Amy Weir, who tragically lost her life just 6 weeks after her wedding day. Amy, an Aston Villa season ticket holder, was just 25. So yeah, tragic news, really, really sad. So on the 25th minute, I think there's going to be an applause. So if everybody can get involved and, just let everybody know, to be fair. So, so welcome to the show. Hannah and Ron, we haven't really had your thoughts post Nottingham Forest. So we'll kick it off with Hannah. How are you feeling going into Chelsea at home?
I'm feeling a little bit poo. I feel like I aired my views on Twitter. If you don't follow me, it's a great time to plug that. But it was just one of those moments where you felt fed up to be a Villa fan, and I haven't really recovered, to be fair. I'm proper stewing still, so I am nervous. So yeah, we don't want to dwell on it too much because we're here to talk about squad. But yeah, I am nervous, so I think we are picking personnel very wisely this evening with the idea that this has got to be a blockbuster performance.
Especially that I'm hearing NSWE will be in attendance for this game. Ryan, I know you love going down B6, but how are you feeling about this one?
Like Hannah, a little bit nervous. We only get to go 19 times a season, so always try and make the most of it when I go down. And I will come Sunday morning, be optimistic, and I always make my way to Villa Park thinking, hoping that we'll get something from a game. But at the minute, it's not looking very good, is it? Gerrard's in the mud. Luke Robinson has threw the book at him, the tactics book. And I'm a little bit nervous for the next three. Obviously, Chelsea's a big test. Fulham away on a Thursday night is a little bit awkward. And then we got Brentford. We never beat Brentford, do we? Never, ever, ever. So I'm very nervous about where we're going to be after these next three. With us only 3 points above the relegation zone. But then we're only 3 points away from out. So it really is back to Hannah saying about being on the tightrope. We are relegation one side, top half the other, but it's the football, isn't it? It's the main concern at the minute. Yes, we're undefeated in 4, Gerrard's best spell, but it's the football at the minute that we are witnessing. It's just not very good, is it? It's just not very good or not very inspiring. So, can he come back for me? I do not know. We'll see on Sunday. Big
game.
Massive.
Game up against tough opposition. Potter mentioned in the preview that Gerrard's not lost to Potter yet. He's sort of got the upper hand on him at the moment. So depending how he fares against Potter at Chelsea now, it's probably going to be a totally different story. But yeah, if you can all head over to our website. Let's have a like target on this video again, 500. And be sure to go and check out the match preview as well that we recorded the other day as well. So let's share the screen then. Head over to utvpodcast.co.uk. You're going in the social hub and we're going up on lineup selector. What we have done is we have changed our formation. We've been bold and yeah, we've gone for a formation tweak. We'll just wait for this to load. So we have gone for a formation tweak. Justin, do you want to tell everybody what our formation is?
Yes, after a long debate today in the chatter group, it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. I think Gerard alluded to possibly moving to something different last week, and whether he bottled it or not at Forest, I'm not quite sure. But I think the performance at Forest has probably just tipped him now. More probably so that he's running out of patience, and he's probably running out of time, isn't he? So I think he's trying to do something different and hoping his luck will change. So we've plumped for a 4-2-3-1. So it's difficult to know what he will go for because he's very stubborn, isn't he? But I think that's our best guess so far.
Yeah, and I sort of would prefer to go to this as opposed to what he mentioned before Forest of the 5 at the back malarkey. I would not like to see that formation whatsoever. Along with one of my bugbears of going with 3 strikers across the 18-yard box. I hate that. My next one that I hate is when times get difficult, managers revert to a 5 at the back. Well, they would like to say 3 at the back, but normally when you're in that position, it normally ends up being a 6 or a 7 at the back. And that's what I would see it being up against Chelsea. I think I'd prefer us to match Chelsea's formation. I think that would probably give us a little bit better foothold going at toe to toe against them, trying to take them into an area in which they don't really want to go in. And that by all means sort of making it difficult to play against us getting in their faces, making it difficult for them. So I think this formation for me would be my preferred option. So Hannah, do you want to talk us through the defence then? What would you like to see?
Yeah, well, you've whacked Emmy in. I think this kind of picks itself after last week. The defence hasn't been the problem, has it? And obviously we were extremely frustrated to concede such a ridiculous set piece against Forest. But in general, I think the defence has been fine. So we're going to have Matty Cash. Or are we going left to right, or are we going right to left?
We'll go left then.
We'll go left to right. We'll put Ashley Young in, who is on track. Who is on track for player of the season at the minute, which is just bonkers. At the start of the season, as much as I think we all love Ashley Young, you don't really want him to be your player of the season. But here he is. He scored a worldie. He stays in. We've got Cash at right back again. Why not? He's back. Hopefully at full fitness now. Didn't do too much wrong, but I think we can probably talk a bit more about the fact that the crosses into the box need to be better. Cash is obviously our best option, and it was good to have him back on Monday night. I think he does offer more than anyone else we've got from right back, but yeah, I think some of those crosses it just becomes a bit of hit and hope, doesn't it? I feel like Gerard relies too much on these fullbacks bombing on. They get further forward. There's nowhere else to go. It's all slowed down. So the opposition defence has got back, and then we just lump a cross in, and that's it. So we stick with him, but there's improvements to be made.
It says something when our best right back this season and our best left back this season are both Ashley Young.
And what I would say about that, Justin, is that if we could have another 10 Ashley Youngs on the pitch,
I should say, can't you? Just seen 2 of them in. Can we just put them in every position? Do you think we'd have a chance?
Team of Ashley Youngs. He's capable.
The attitude would be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've alluded to that, haven't we? In the last week, is you need that commitment and desire, and a lot of these players, you can tell they still have that. But Ashley Young is the gold star professional, where his head never seems to drop. He's always completely 100% committed. So yeah, I mean, if we can cut this episode really short and just put 11 Ashley Youngs on the pitch, then sure. But no, we'll
it was Gabby's birthday today, wasn't it? He was 36, and Ashley Young's a year older. Ashley Young's 37. So there's some.
I tell you my feeling on Ashley Young is he plays every game like he thinks it's going to be his last game, and he's brilliant. his shithousing is amazing. His technique is still brilliant. His attitude's first class, and his fitness is brilliant, isn't it, as well? I mean, I'm a massive cricket fan, and I've been watching Jimmy Anderson. He's nearly 40 now, and he's as good as anything in the world. So it just shows that if your attitude's right and you look after yourself, then you can carry on playing for as long as you want. But fair play. Thank God we signed him for another year.
Yeah, exactly. Gold star professional. We can't complain at all with Ashley Young.
Long live Ashley Young.
Yep. That's going to be the title of the episode. Sorted. Right, then centre back, I think we'll just stick with Mings and Konza. I don't feel the need to change it too much. They've been performing okay. Don't see a reason to change it.
I'd agree. I'd say, Hannah, you've just picked the easiest part of this lineup then. So
I know, I'm going to head off now, guys, then if that's okay.
Well, once Justin starts tinkering with it all, I'm sure it'll be totally different.
No, I'm happy with that back five. I think it, like you say, it picks itself, doesn't it?
Yeah. And to be fair, the defence isn't really the problem, is it?
No.
Normally it's this way around, isn't it? Where the defence is the part that's absolutely tragic all over the show, but we're actually doing all right.
We've gone too far the other way, haven't we? We were like, the defence was shocking, and now we've kind of sorted it out, but we've focused far too much on not conceding that we've now forgotten how to score. So we need some of these other 6 players or however many, I can't count, to pull the fingers out.
So let's go into the 2 sort of holding midfielders, should we say, in this formation, what we would like to go with. I'm going to kick it off with the 2 that I think, and then we'll get involved and everybody can sort of chip in with their say. I think for this game, I would like to see Dendoncker and Douglas Luiz. My reasoning is I think Douglas Luiz is one of those where during the game, you're watching it and you're thinking, actually, he's getting on the ball, he's knocking it around all right, but it's just a little bit too slow for me. I think he needs to quicken it up a little bit, because what we saw against Forest was he was the one that was getting the ball off the centre-backs every single time, and it's sort of like we see the pass, oh no, let's just wait a second, and then we play the ball. I just think it just needs to be a bit quicker from Luiz, and that's why I'd say Luiz, actually. And then I think Dendoncker for a little bit more presence, a little bit more physicality, a little bit more stature, a little bit more midfield nous about him. I think it's Dendoncker time, Villa fans. That's what I'm saying.
Dendoncker time, yeah.
Well,
we were. I can't remember if you mentioned on the preview. I'm pretty sure you did, about being careful from set pieces again in this game, and to have an extra bit of height in midfield for defending in those set piece situations, I think will be very important. I picked those same 2 holding as well, and for the tiny bits that we have seen him, he does like to get forward, doesn't he? It was kind of the same at Wolves, where he does like to get forward and cross the ball in and get involved in the attack as well. So it's not like we're going super defensive. It's just having the control, but also we need to be progressive. Like you say, it's just been so sluggish. We need someone who just wants to carry the ball. And
to be fair, you know what? I reckon if you actually if there was a button on sort of like the Villa highlights where you could just like ×2 it or ×10 it, it'd actually probably look quite quick, wouldn't it? So that's what we need to do. Just get it a bit quicker, move it around a bit quicker, and we'll probably be fine, to be fair. So, Ryan, what you're saying then? Are you agreeing?
Yeah, in full agreement. Douglas Luiz, he cut a frustrated figure on Monday night. He was lucky to escape a red card. I thought the frustration was getting to him. He's on a yellow, and he flung into a few challenges. And I've just seen his interview on Villa TV, and he seems happy enough. He's saying the right things. He's saying that they're training well, and they believe that they can win the game, and he's happy. So hopefully that resonates with the rest of the squad, that they've still got confidence in themselves to give Chelsea a good game. And yeah, fully agree with you on Den Donker as well. Just that presence, just that mobility around the pitch as well to get up and down. Both of them can be box to box, can't they? They don't need to sit there in a double pivot. You can alternate between who pushes forward and gives support to that front four, because that front four does need support, and we do need to get more people in and around the box as well. So I think them two offer that.
What are you saying, Justin? The camera,
Yeah,
Chambers.
Do you know what? I've been looking at the available players that can play in that position, and I was going to say Callum Chambers is an option. I don't think he'll play. I don't think there's any chance in the world he'll play in that position. But if we were playing well, and this was our formation, and we were coming up against a really top side like a City or Chelsea, like we're doing the weekend, then could you do worse than playing Dendoncker and Chambers? I mean, Chambers proved that at Fulham. He played that position very, very well. I still think he's been massively underused at Villa. So, a two like that in front of the back forward, solid as a rock, isn't it?
He played there once last season, didn't he? Was it Burnley away?
He
played as number 6,
dropped
didn't
him in, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
As I say, I don't think that'll happen for a second on Sunday, but Chambers is definitely, of who's available left now, then Chambers is definitely an option. But I think it's pretty much nailed on to be if he does go this way, then Luiz and Dendoncker.
Yeah, I just think Chambers is such a weird signing, isn't it? Because like I said in the preview, he's never let us down. He's never done nothing wrong. But
he never gets a shirt.
No game time.
Well, he was player of pre-season, wasn't he? We thought he was all nailed on for the opening game of the season, and it was his shirt to lose, and we just haven't seen him, have we?
I mean, another thing that, I'm going a bit far into the future. If Gerrard does eventually go, then we have got a certain Morgan Sanson that never gets a game that, realistically could play in that position as well,
Yeah.
But he'll, again, another one that won't ever get a shirt currently, so it's not even worth talking about in this instance.
No, I remember Forrest Nakamba was like warming up at half time, and he got like tracky bottoms on. He got like that coat that Arsene Wenger used to have, that really long one on. And I just thought,
he got a sleeping bag on, hadn't he? I don't think there's any chance of him getting.
Mate, he ain't got no shinies on underneath that. He's got no socks. He just knows he's not coming on. So
he's ready for bed, I think.
I thought it was so telling that Nakamba was just like rolling around with that coat on. So Ryan, well, go on then. What would you say would be this sort of three then? What would your preferred three be?
Okay, I'm thinking on that left-hand side, Jacob Ramsey. Similar sort of game to Manchester City, where Ramsey had his best game of the season. Do we all agree in that position? I just feel I think against Chelsea, we need a bit of pace. We need to be direct. We need to be on the counter. And I think that Ramsey offers that attack, doesn't he? He's got the confidence to run with the ball. He's got the confidence to take players on. So I really feel it's time for him to shift onto that left-hand side, especially for this game against Chelsea, a tough game. I was a bit disappointed that he didn't rip the back of the net against Forest. I think he just needs to be a bit greedy now. I think that the lack of form for Watkins has sort of infected him a little bit, because the first thing he done was look to play that ball across to Watkins, and I'm thinking, young lad in his head, he wants to set Watkins up, get his confidence back up, but just be greedy, kid. Just lash that ball into the back of the net. So hopefully he can play fearless, because that's what we need. We need fearless players now. We need these young lads to really step up and just have a go, because there's no pressure on these youngsters. So just go out there and perform. On the right side, if Bailey's fit, I think I'd go for Bailey. I've still got my reservations about his performances this season. But again, similar to Manchester City, he offered that width, he offered that pace, and I think, again, we will need that. So if he's fit, I would like to stick him in. Bit concerned, I had a look at his stats, because I was thinking to myself, yeah, he's got the pace, but I've never really seen him use it. And I'm thinking to myself, how many times have I actually seen him one-on-one beat a man? Like Ashley Young back in the day, 2007. You knew as soon as he picked that ball up, you was up out your seat thinking, here we go. He's going to twist, turn, drop the top, and in, yeah. And then he'll put you on your arse. He'll wait for you to get up and put you back on your arse. And like, that got bums off seat. And apart from that blaster against Everton, like 18 months ago nearly, that's really the only time I've been up and out my seat. And his dribbles, in the 8 games he's played, he's had 8 successful dribbles, 8 with 36% success rate. So I just wanted to see him. I just wanted to see him go and take someone on, man.
My worry in this game would be playing him is that he gives the ball away too much.
Yeah, me too.
In this game, I said in the preview that it's about being brave and taking those risks. And for me, he just gives it away too much. I just wouldn't trust him. That's how I feel about him now. I think he's pretty raw. He's quite ambitious, but I just think he's just an unreliable.
He's a confidence player, isn't he? He's got no confidence.
No.
And I also don't trust that when he does lose it, that he's going to absolutely bust his guts to win it back. It's just one of them where you want a player who, if they lose the ball, they are going to really try and win it back, because we can't afford to lose possession, not against anyone, but especially a side like Chelsea when we're already going to be up against it.
Yeah. Ryan, who would you go in the middle then?
I think it'd have to go McGinn, but obviously, he could drop back into that double pivot we've got there. Again, confidence, the lack of confidence in the front three has infected that midfield, because McGinn, that stumble that he had just reeked. Then it just reeked of lack of confidence. Scotland's John McGinn lashes that home and sends Hampden Park wild, doesn't he? And there's a lot of talk about the captaincy is wearing him down. I'm not buying that. He's captain of Scotland. He embraces it.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think, it's just a little bit awkward, because I'd imagine Tyrone Mings is still quite a character in that dressing room. He's still quite a leader. I'd imagine everyone looks up to him. I imagine he's still vocal, and him taking the captaincy off and giving it McGinn is probably just a little bit awkward. But for him to weigh his performance down and affect his performance down, I'm not buying that. So we just got to get some confidence in him. They just need one to go in off the arse off any one of that front three and try and just galvanise them, really.
I'd slightly counter that, weighing him down. I think it is a little bit. If I'm on it, I think it does a little bit. By that I mean, I think when he got given the captaincy, I think he sees it as such a big honour. Obviously, his best mate Jack was the captain. He saw what he brought to the role and how he was loved. I think if anything, he's trying too hard. That's my feeling. That when I watch him, I just see him running around, trying to bust a gut, smashing into people, doing this, doing that. And when he gets dispossessed, or it's a poor pass, you can see he's going, and that's why I think it's slightly is impacting his game, the captaincy, because I think he wants to be such a good captain for us that he's trying too hard. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. Like, I kind of agree with you, Justin. I think he's the type of player that when you watch him, sometimes it is like a headless chicken, but I don't think that's for want of not trying. I think that's trying too much. He just wants to capture that form of when he is, the heart of the midfield, and it's just not happening. It's not happening, but again, he's the captain, so I can't disagree with him being in that role. And if we can eventually get it right with him being in a more advanced role where he's got the comfort of perhaps those two other midfielders behind him, maybe we'll have, less burden on him to be running around, throwing in tackles and winning balls back.
I'll tell you what, if McGinn starts in this position, Darryl, who always comments about John McGinn, I don't know what he'd do if he's in the team and he was in that position, because he's a big McGinn fan. So I know Darryl would be buzzing.
Sorry, the Scotland John McGinn captain. I think he plays with with less bizarrely less pressure for his international team than he does for the club side, and I think it just doesn't weigh down on him for Scotland because he goes there and he's just I don't know.
For me, looking at that now, Ramsey and McGinn, that's where you're going to get the best out of both of them, isn't it? Not where Louise and Dendoncker are sitting.
Yeah.
McGinn and Ramsey, that is where they can be most potent. That can be where they can affect the game. You cast your mind back to McGinn, and it highlights the other day, Forest game, wasn't it? Forest game in the Championship before we played Forest, and the goals that he scored. He was in and around that box, wasn't he? Being a terrier, twisting, turning. Where's that McGinn gone? He's sucking into false left back roles and holding midfielders. Yeah. That is where he needs to be. And if he can get a good run in that position, then I really do feel we could see the old McGinn back, because I haven't seen the real John McGinn now for nearly 12 months. Well, since Gerrard come in, I don't think I've seen the real John McGinn. So I do want that John McGinn back. So hopefully he can get into positions and start contributing in that final third.
So what are we saying about this one on the right? I would be inclined to put Buendia there. Justin?
That was my pick.
I'm going to throw a spanner in. Like, I love to throw a spanner in.
Why not, Justin? Why not?
Well, I've got to be honest. I wouldn't play Jacob Ramsey.
Really?
I'm totally now. One of my biggest criticisms of Steven Gerrard is playing players that are out of form and continually doing it. And for me, Jacob Ramsey's been out of form for quite a long time. And I know we'll go on to the striker situation soon, but I think currently I'd leave him out the side. He's a player that's just struggling to get anywhere near his top form. And he, like you alluded to, Ryan, against Forest, the Jacob Ramsey of early last season and his first breakthrough season, just like the Forest goal, the Norwich goal, when he just blasted his way through and just left-footed it straight in there. I mean, that was almost identical position he found himself in at Forest, and he's looking to try and cross it over. I just think he needs. We've said it for a long time now. He tries to play these players back into form, and I know I'm going to go slightly against my sort of point by saying I would just stick with Coutinho and Buendia because neither of them in massively good form. But I think for me, you go with players that are going to offer you something in them positions. And whilst I totally agree that Ramsey's possibly a bit better going forward in that position, I just don't want to see players that are out of form. And that's probably every player.
I've got a challenge you. I've got to challenge you, Justin, purely because take me back. I can't remember what our last two goals were, but did he not score an assist? So is he technically probably not our recently most productive
I sort of agree.
And he was nominated. He was nominated. Did he not get our Player of the Month, or was he not nominated for some kind of Player of the Month award? So I do get it, because I think up until that point, and still now to an extent, he is nowhere near the kind of form he was last season. I think there's other players that we've picked so far that we could argue are probably in worse form. Like Coutinho, for example. So I'm giving you a healthy challenge on that one.
No, I'll take that. Yeah.
Would be nowhere near this starting lineup. Nowhere near it, Coutinho. I mean, that performance against Forest in that first half was terrible. It was really, really bad. And I just think what we're going to need from Coutinho against Chelsea, I wouldn't put Coutinho in this team at all.
Yeah, like Justin just says, he's trying to play him back into form, but is he for whose benefit? For Aston Villa's benefit, or for Steven Gerrard's benefit? Because he's the one that's wanted him, he's the one that plumped for him, he's the one that said he can get him back into form. No doubt we're paying him a lot of money, but it is time for him to sit out. There's still time for Coutinho to be a success at Villa, but I think right now, he just needs to just step out.
Yeah. If he's even his free kicks, his dead balls, which you've seen him through his home country absolutely banging him in, but they're hitting the first man, and it's like, yeah, I know that's not his whole game, but if he's not even, threatening from that, which is supposed to be one of his strongest assets, it's just so frustrating. I feel like we were so excited for him, and it's very quickly turned a bit like disappointing. So I'm very much, of that mindset where we do need to rest players, which probably gives a nice segue into the striker if we're going to rest a certain someone.
I'm going for it. I am up front. I'm putting him in there. We're going Cameron Archer up front.
Yes.
Because the lift it would give that stadium to see Cameron Archer starting this game would be massive. What I saw from him when he came on, when he peeled off of the defender and sort of went to the penalty spot, I haven't seen movement like that all season from a striker. And you give him the ball in the correct area, I have no doubt he can finish. I saw Danny Ings come on and he was just running offside and he just didn't look right. For me, I'm going Cameron Archer. What are we saying?
100% agree with you. We need someone fearless. We need someone lively, no pressure on him. The movement, like you say, was unreal. Again, he had that chance at Forest where I think if we're on form, he takes that header on, doesn't he? He goes for goal. But yeah, definitely. And you hit the nail on the head there, Luke. We, in that ground on Sunday, need something to get behind. Now, style of play, we can't get behind that at the minute. No one's really keen to get behind Gerrard at the minute. We've sort of lost that connection. So Archer on that pitch is the connection, isn't it? That's the connection from this team to the fan base, to every stand in that stadium. For us to get behind him, that's what we need as a fan base and as an atmosphere, something to get behind. And Cameron Archer is that man.
He's not been tainted, has he, by the bad form? Like all the players in this squad have, got their heads down or they're feeling a bit frustrated. Cameron Archer's fresh and ready to go. He's not, got that disappointment in him. He's ready to go. So I agree, and I do think having one, singing one of your own and having that excitement would lift the fans. So I was being sensible, Sally, and I picked Danny Ings because I just thought, he's not going to start Archer. And I just want Watkins to rest the game because the last time we rested him, he came back and was reinvigorated. So I picked Danny Ings because I also really like the Buendia Danny Ings link up when they've played together a few times. I feel like it's really worked. So I picked Ings, but I'm very much backing Cameron Archer. If that does happen, I think it would be very exciting. And he's also scored against Chelsea before, so he's got that in the bag as well.
Justin?
I think what Cameron Archer brings to Villa, hopefully, is... No, seriously. I totally agree with you on Monday, Luke. He came on and he was invigorating, wasn't he? He was brilliant to watch. He looks like a middleweight boxer. His stature. He's very.
Oh, you're funny, Jason.
He's solid. He just looks like he's ready. He looks like he's ready to. Do you know what I mean? Like he wants to be unleashed. He's like you say as well, Luke. He's a finisher. His movement is amazing. His attitude was spot on when he came on, and he's probably the most hungriest player we've currently got in our squad. Yet he doesn't get any minutes.
Sorry.
I think his finishing is amazing. And for me, unleash the kid on Sunday. An hour before kick-off, everybody's feeling low. Everybody's expecting the worst on Sunday. The manager's under the cosh. When that team news drops, if Cameron Archer is in it, I guarantee you, when that game starts, the atmosphere is a totally different game. And this is not having to go at Danny Ings or Wally Watkins at all. But if either of them starts on Sunday, then the focus is on Gerrard and just trying to get out of it unscathed. If Cameron Archer starts on Sunday, then the focus is on him. Everybody's off the seats every time he goes near the ball. Everyone will be willing him to do well. Everyone will be willing to just a chance to drop to that kid. And he could it's a big ask. He could be the saviour of Steven Gerrard if only he's got the balls to play him.
You imagine first couple of minutes he puts a challenge on Aspilicueta or somebody and
Exactly.
he wins us a throw-in. It's just
Erupt.
something like that. Something so
Exactly,
little
yeah.
would get everybody off their seat, roaring him on. I just think I believe in him, and I think
You imagine the adrenaline running through that kid's veins if he walked out as a starting number 9 for Villa on Sunday. I think it's a no-brainer for me, but what do we know?
I'd call that a magic moment.
To be fair, I mean, the lineup's probably not even going to be that formation.
I know, we're probably miles off it. Miles off it.
It'll be the same. It'll be the same team.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least my tactical thing is this is what I think we're going to go with.
To be fair, if Gerrard does lose his job, then this is our CV, isn't it? We can just send this in to the big man and say, look, this is how we do it. Get us in there.
Don't you think if he did go 4-2-3-1 and things turn around, how ironic it would be that was Dean Smith's main formation?
Yeah.
That a new manager came in, changed everything, and if he went back to this and it worked, how ironic would that be?
Yeah, definitely. Right, Villa fans, there you go. That's our formation. Go over to the website, put your formations in, get your teams on social media, share away, comment your thoughts on our lineup, and we will be back with our sort of match reaction content over the weekend. So thanks everyone for watching. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Villa.